Yeah, we back. Turn it up just a little.
Good day, everybody. My name is Red Earth, and today we are going to be playing a black-green build. But unlike most of my builds that I build some rogue deck off the top of my head, this time I'm going to be borrowing a list from someone in the community that's done fairly well from what I've seen. Their name is M-Dog, and they designed a list called Greater Than 3. And I am super excited to be playing this one. I've built a variant that I want to try at some other point, but right now I'm just going to play their list as is, card for card, that they posted that I last scooped up, and see how I can perform with it, see if I can replicate a little bit of the success, because, at some point, losing all the time grows old, and I want to try something a little different. So let's cover the list bottom to top as we usually do. We got Monoist Sentry. This is a 1 mana 4/1 defender. The main strength of this card is it costs 1 mana and has 4 power. Pretty straightforward. Bushwhack. This is a 1 mana spell that either fetches you a land or allows you to fight another creature, so it's a little bit of removal. This deck is not high on removal. It is very much a slam creatures down and hope to overwhelm your opponent type of deck. But it does give you a little bit of interaction. Landwire Elves. This is a staple. Nobody should be confused about this guy. The old 1 mana accelerate, go right to 3, and that actually has quite a bit of value in this deck. This is probably what the deck is really built around. Slumbering Trudge. 1 mana 6/6. It'll enter with 3 stun counters based on how much you pay for X, and it reduces for each extra mana you put. So sometimes you can go Landwire Elves, and on turn 2 you can put 2 X is equal to 2, so it only enters with 1 stun counter, so it'll be online pretty quickly. But in general, like you're not playing this to be a 4 mana 6/6 or reduced slow 6/6. You're doing it for the humongous body for 1 mana, which you'll probably see in our gameplay. We have Rock Cursed Rakasha. This is a 2 mana 5/5 with trample, decayed, so it can't block, and if it attacks, you sacrifice it at end of combat. But it's a 2 mana enabler for all the 4 power or greater cards. And it has a relatively powerful renew ability that's from your graveyard. You can put decayed counters on X target creatures. So you can remove a bunch of blockers from your opponent, and if they're planning on attacking with those creatures, they only get 1 more attack before they're sacrificed. So you kind of like put the rock curse on them too. Sunset Saboteur. This card is the bane of my existence, both when it's on my side of the board and the opponent's. Whenever I play it, my opponent has a bunch of creatures, and so I almost never want to be attacking with it. But whenever I'm playing some dirtily ass deck, it's a 4/1 menace ward that pumps up none of my stuff. So hopefully I get some favorable matchups for this guy. A lot of people seem to have success with this card, and I know it's a pain in the ass for me. But yeah, very 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 powerful effect. It's just that downside is brutal. But once again, it's a 4/1 creature for 2 with ward, so not much to talk about there. We've got Garruk's Uprising. So this gives your deck a little bit of churn and gives all your creatures trample. So when it enters, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw a card. Pretty straightforward. A lot of the time you're going to be cantripping the moment you put this into play. The trample part is relatively relevant, especially with big boys like Trudge. Even mostly Trudge. Sunset Saboteur a little bit, but that's it. The big key line of text I think for this card is whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, draw a card. So it'll make your sentries cantrip, it'll make your trudges cantrip, and as your opponent is interacting and removing your large threats that are hard to destroy with burn spells, you'll be replacing them and hopefully be tempoing out your opponent that way. We got a couple lumbering world wagons. I'm not 100% sure why these guys are in the deck, but it does ramp you up to larger amounts of mana, and it is a hard to interact with vehicle that, maybe it's just because it's a really good vehicle that gives you lands, I guess. Because it does hit very, very hard, and especially with Garrick's Uprising. That's also where the trample will become relevant. And almost all your creatures can activate the World Wagon, so maybe I'm not that confused as to why it's in the deck. It has been good in my testing for my variant. But yeah, you've seen lots of this probably. 3 mana for X4 equals a number of basic lands, or number of lands, not basic lands, but you can keep fetching up basics. Sylvan Scavenging, I've been in love with this card in testing. The ability to just make a 3/3 every single turn is humongous. The only stipulation is you need to have a creature with power 4 or greater. One thing that you can do is, as long as you can get a raccoon into play, even if they remove your other threats, you can put a 1/1 counter on to the raccoon, and boom, you've got a 4/4 again. But yeah, this will help power you through Wrath of Gods, where you only really need to commit one of any of these humongous dudes, and then the engine just starts up again, and a stream of 3/3s is enough to overwhelm a lot of people. Singleton Surak, the big boy. I'm a big fan of this. Not only is it slightly overstated as a 4 mana 5/4, but that's not really what you care about. It's that at the beginning of combat in your turn, as long as you have total power 8 or greater, target creature you control gains haste, and you either slam him and he gets haste immediately, or on a future turn, assuming that he survives, any of your other huge dudes that come down can get haste immediately. And then for the top end of this deck, Ghalta. This guy can come down super fast with all your huge creatures. And it usually ends up being a 2 to 3 mana 12/12 trample. And there isn't a lot of popular destroy target creature effects. I mean, there's like a few, like Delian Fell, but they're not even that popular. A lot of them will be like destroy creatures that are 2 or under, or there'll be burn spells or something like that. So dealing with a 12/12 is quite hard, unless it's a board wipe in itself. The downside to Ghalta is that it kind of leans you in towards a board wipe, but I guess the idea is that these enchantments are going to carry you through. As for the mana base, pretty straightforward, just running a bunch of the good dual lands, 2 Susser Secundis, which allow you to turn your huge dudes that don't do a lot on their own into a bunch of, cards. I know I've played like the Rock Curse Mono Century in the past with my Mono Black Reanimator deck with Susser Secundi, so this is just taking another variant of that. It seems pretty good, although there's not a lot of ways to gain life in this deck, so who knows, but it'll probably be decent against control. Great Arashan City. This is not a particularly exciting card, but it allows you to get a small amount of value where you can put another 1/1 into play as they wrath your guys down, and allows you to maintain pressure. This sideboard is a bit of all over the place, especially because like I'm not really sure which parts of the engine you're supposed to be taking out for the sideboard plan, right? Like maybe it's Sunset Saboteurs against creature decks, but like as you lower the density of your large guys, you increase the amount of pain that you're going to be feeling when you're not triggering stuff like Garrick's Uprising or Sylvan Scavenging. So I'm not quite sure, but maybe it's a much higher density in the main, and then you can afford to go down on some. But we got Duresses. That's pretty simple against the heavy spell-based control decks. You can use that. a single requiting hex. I guess if they're very aggressive, you can board this in. Defend the rider. I imagine this will be against control decks that don't rely heavily on sacrifice effects, although that 2 mana spell that exiles is quite popular. Kills your largest guy, so the Galt Eater. Bite Down lets you blow up a creature or planeswalker, so it's a little bit of removal. I imagine this will be help you take down super annoying planeswalkers, mostly Delian Fells. I'm not sure what other planeswalkers are too relevant. I mean, there's what's it called, Ugin. He's a little large to be biting down, even if your guys are large. Frenzied Bailoffs are quite good. And they're not even that bad with Sylvan Scavenging, because if you go Frenzied Bailoff into Scavenging, at the end of your turn you can put a 1/1 counter on it, and all of a sudden you've enabled the Raccoons. I would kind of want more of them in here, but once again, I'm just playing M-Dog's list as M-Dog designed it, so I'm not making any adjustments. Heritage Reclamation, very flexible card. There aren't a lot of Reanimator decks from what I've seen for the Exile thing, but there are quite a few artifacts and enchantments running around, so it gives you some way to interact with that. Hero's Downfall, not a particularly popular removal spell, but it is a way to kill something of any size. And then Maelstrom Pulse, which, although it's not instant, it I would almost run more Maelstrom Pulses over in Hero's Downfall just due to the flexibility. But who am I to say? But Maelstrom Pulse allows you to destroy anything, and all of the permanents of the same name. So that's the list. It's quite a good list. I know it's good. So I have hopes for today's tournament. I'm not sure how many rounds it's going to be. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I'll catch you guys in the next round. Thanks for watching. Alright, welcome to round one. I will play first. You too. This seems like a completely acceptable hand. Probably gonna have to take some damage initially, but we'll keep. I have no idea what they have, some sort of like skeleton with arrows in it for their deck box art. Gives me no information. That's a neat little art. Blue, white. Huh. Maybe they're Esper, maybe. I love this art. I'd love to get some of those. I want to... We'll put a... Do I want to cast Rockhurst Rashaka? Rakasha, sure. Sure. What are you doing over there? Let's cast the less important one. It resolved. Let's draw a card, baby. Alright. You didn't counter me last turn. Would you have a 3-mana counter? I don't know. I'd rather cast it while I have 2 mana up, though. So we'll cast this and see what happens. Sure. Could Wrath me. Oh, drumming. Sage of the Skies, huh? Well, I've got a good idea on how to contain that. That would be the Rock Curse hit them both. Do I want to do that over Sylvan Scavenging? I don't think so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into play tapped. Sylvan Scavenging. Almost got Spell Pierced potentially. A little spooky, but okay. And then I'm gonna attack. I'll let them bounce off if they want to. But letting Sage of the Skies go ballistic is not good. Ah, Cosmo. One, two, three. We'll do it this way. I am drawing all the lands in this 23 land deck. Daydream, Daydream. Not looking good. Say that much. You got one more spell while we're at it? Yeah, you do. Okay. You got it. I'll just concede there. Alrighty. I think I need some Maelstrom Pulses and a Bite down, and maybe Hero's Downfall. You've got way too many creatures, so we're gonna get rid of you. Not Defend the Rider, I don't need you. These Cosmogrands cannot be left to fester. Also, drawing 300 lands back to back is a recipe for disaster. Such is life. Such is life. Dun, 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 dun. Play first again. The ability to put one of those into play quickly, but only if I draw a land. I think I'll risk it for the biscuit, though. Very nice. Very nice. Get this down. Start pumping. Thanks. Almost misplayed so hard. You gotta spell pierce, yeah. Oh well. Another drum. Riddling up. And we've blinked. Well, can't be okay with that, so guess we'll just blow that up. Sure, we'll give this the old one tapper. Another 1-mana daydream. Oh, Sage of the Skies. Okay. I might be able to make this work. Might be able to. Sentry now will draw me too, which is cute. Cosmo. I'll tell you what I can't do, and that's let Cosmo continue to go, so... Suppose I'll attack that. And then... attack with all these. Station with you. Put another raccoon into play. This does not seem like a good matchup unless I get an early Galta. Pseudo Vampire Nighthawk is so much nastier when you get two at the same time. Maelstrom Pulse. See, this is when I'm talking about that Maelstrom Pulse. Oh. Alright, I need to rip the one that's remaining in my deck. We're paying 0. Draw. Alright. Are we dead yet? Ba, 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 ba. And yep, that's not enough. Alright. Good game. Boom. See you in the next round. Alright, welcome to round 2. We are down a round, but that's alright. We're fighting High Brawler, and they are playing some sort of archaic deck, it appears. Well, we can pump out a fast Galta, so we'll see how that works. Okay. I'd be much happier if I had any of the enchantments, but it's hard to turn out a very fast Galta, potentially. In we go. Oh, baby. I'm gonna put this down. Oh, they might have counterspell interaction. If they do, we're hitting them for a lot, so let's throw this down. Didn't seem like they did anything, so. Galta's down, your turn. Well, turn 3, Galta. Alright, it's game 1 for you. Alright. I know they got archaic nonsense going on. Or I'm fairly certain with their mana base. So maybe, especially if they're on the higher end, maybe I trim. What am I going to trim? Cut 1 Rock Cursed, 1 Bushwhack Pulse. And then maybe 2nd Rock Cursed Downfall. The Saboteurs should be able to do lots in the early game before they get their big X creatures down, perhaps? That's my thought. Did I just cut a Bushwhack? Maybe Bushwhack's supposed to stay in. I don't know. This hand is a little sussy baka. Mullet. Okay. Suppose I'll keep. What am I cutting? Kind of like these two. Do I cut the Secundi? Maybe. Need to rip another land. Show me potato salad. Alright. Delta's down to 5. Never mind. We kinda don't have any action at the moment. Terrifying. I'm going to kill that out of immense fear. Even if you're not warping, I don't want to deal with the, what the fuck is this? Sure. Well, see what happens. My lads are big. Ugh, Boyd. Alright. Okay. In we go. Alright. Even though Boyd is gonna be big. No. Alright. Lightning strike, I'm dead. A fling in the format I'm not tracking. Bushwhack me. Alright, that's round 2, everybody. See you in the next one. Welcome to round 3. We are fighting Grey Will. We have some form of consult the star charts type deck. Opponent goes first. I have a chance to draw a second land. Can open on Trudge. I think I need a little too much stuff to go right for that hand to be worth playing. This hand seems much more acceptable. So I can play Landor on turn 1. There's no guarantee I can do anything on turn 2 except play Sunset. Even then, there's no guarantee to play Sunset. It's a little cooked, if you ask me. I'm gonna toss back Gulta. I'm very insecure about this hand. At least I can play Uprising. Whether I can resolve Uprising is a completely separate question, but I can play it. Or I can just play Trudge. Would you like to try to counter that? No? Four colors. Stocking up. This would be a time to play Uprising and Secundi, I think. Thanks. Boom. You got it, champ. Let's play Saboteur. And then I will play Rakasha. And then I'm going to tap both of them to this shit. Drawing a bajillion cards seems pretty good against some sort of control deck. 3. Tableting. You can counterspell into end of turn. Very nice. Red, red. Getting the ward value. discarding another counterspell. I'm going to throw this out. What do you think about that? Let's draw a few cards. Alright. I will discard a swamp and a landmark. Let's play this guy out. And attack. Back to you. Doing that again. Alright. Ow. We'll throw this out. I'm going to cast at least one of these. See what happens with this. Do you have 4 Jeskai? Am I just going to get Jeskai 4 times in a row? Fine with you wrathing. Yeah. We probably are going to get Jeskai 4 times in a row. Or no, we're just dead here. I see. Alright, well, hopefully the duresses will help this matchup. But that spell just stinks, if you ask me. Sunset's fine. Rockhurst is mediocre. We'll just go bop, 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 bop. And then defend the rider. Betrayal. Bushwhack's a little less important. Defend, defend. And we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I don't know. Play first. Suppose I'll keep. One on counter. Damn. Divert Disaster Man. Throw this out and cast your spell. We will get one for one. Stocking up. Cool. I'm gonna put this down. Just hit him. One on counter. God damn it. I should have done that in the opposite order. 1/1 counter. I wanted my raccoon. What do you think about that? Sure. Thanks. Raccoon, raccoon. Cool. Makes sense, makes sense. Just Guys in a Wrath. Suppose I'll only pay nothing for that. Ah, show me what you got. You don't need that. Thanks. Make a few boys. Very deliberate with the mana. You've got a defeat. Why couldn't I? What? Whatever. I want to keep some amount of mana open. 1, 2, 3. We'll do 3. 1, 2. Okay. Get 'em, boys. Well, searching hard for a wrath. Yep. I do that on my upkeep? I guess, sure. Yeah. Whatever. At least now I know the order of multiple scavengings. Although I'm probably cooked now, because they're just going to keep chaining star charts and stock up, and star charts and stock up, and to defeat, and to Jesskies, and, you know, that's just the way she goes. Mm-hmm. Oh, can't cast that, so we'll pass the turn. I say you he did. Bounce 2 tokens. Uh-huh. Alright, good game. You got it. See you guys in the next round. Alright, welcome to round 4. We are 1 and 2, hoping to even up the match. We are fighting Dreams Along, playing something with Winter Night Stories. Verge Llanowar scavenging. Yeah, that's a game plan. Alright, take 2 elf. Leave my elf alone, don't have spell pierce. You listened to both requests, you Giga Chad. Thank you very much. So we are deceiving. Well, you can take a look. You know if you like what you see. Goodbye, Mr. Saboteur. Swamp or a forest? Bang. Well, let's put both of these dorks into play, assuming I'm not going to get wrathed very easily. Now Galta's in line. Well, with no surprise here, you may have my Galta. I will just give him the old smack. I'll hold on to the sentry, and we will make a Raken. Good game. Alright. Deceit, Deceit. I think I've seen them play this deck before, but can't really pin it down. Just some sort of mid-rangey control type list. I would assume that Defend the Rider's pretty good. Then again, I think I'll just send it back, see what the tools they're working with are. Do they have counter spells? Do they have exile removal? Not an exciting hand, but it is a hand. Suppose I'll keep. Hand got way better real fast. Bum, 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 bum. Wow. I gotta keep my scavenging. And I can galt it pretty quickly, assuming that they leave my hand alone. They're not going to, but they could. That's what I'd take too. Would I? Yeah, probably. Give it a counter. Trudge him out. Trudging him again. Elf. Interesting. Okay. Damn it. Stealing my Galta. In we go. Wistfulness, okay. Less keen on that, but sure. So if I attack, has to block the trudge, and then take 6. So put that into play. Force the action. End the turn. Meredith is pretty good at blocking and getting stuff back. Not keen on either of those. Yeah, rivalry seems pretty good in this situation. I can attack, get in for 1, disabling that. Okay. It doesn't actually disable it. What am I talking about? It doesn't disable anything. I can bring them to 1 health. It's gonna cost me a raccoon. Which I suppose I'm fine with. It does not matter which choice I choose, but sure, we'll put a 1/1 counter on. That guy forcing the matter. X is equal to 0. Yeah. I will take 3. Winter Night? I would Winter Night. Wait, no. Winter Night would be suicide. I would not Winter Night. I change my assessment. We definitely make the token. Ooh, that's pretty big. Because not only do I got multiple critters that can kill you, but Rock Curse can decay all your friends. Well, I like that less, but okay. Fine. Perhaps you wanted to do that in the other order? If you play out the Riddler, you just die. Things are looking a little dicey for you, my friend. Yeah. Good game. Maybe if you played your land first, you could have got something back that mattered. I'm not seeing it though. Oh, rivalry perhaps. 1, 2. Nah, you'd still only have 3. It's whatever you can do with 3 mana. GG's. Alright, let's get into the postmortem. So, the black-green list from M-Dog. Turns out the core of it, very strong. Sylvan Scavenging is such a beating of a card. I love it. Grux Uprising, also pretty good, although I don't think we saw a ton of it other than the matches that we are already winning quite handily. Sunset Saboteur did pretty good job against Control, although we ended up losing those matchups anyways, so how much does that truly matter? I'm not sure. But against that last matchup, yeah, just the sheer amount of pressure that this deck can output and quickly, especially in like round 2. You just clobber people to death so quickly. If I were to make any changes to this list, I would definitely be messing around in the sideboard somewhat. The main deck looks fine. Maybe there's room to put up a World Wagon and down a Bushwhack, but then again, having a couple pieces of removal when you truly just need anything is worth it. Do you need 8 of these enchantments? Maybe. If people run enchantment removal, having an excess of them prevents them from just removing the one and just shutting you down completely. So I'm not 100% sure. I don't like Hero's Downfall. I'd probably put another Pulse in place of that. There are matchups where Frenzied Baloth I think would be quite good. Bite Down is another one. It's a 2 mana way to kill creatures and planeswalkers, but that's only if you've got a creature and it's vulnerable to opposing removal, and if you're trying to kill planeswalkers, there's a good chance they have their own removal, so why not just pulse them out? I'm just a fan of Pulse. 3 mana, non-land Vindicate. It's just pretty strong, and there's definitely a non-zero amount of duplicates or even Sage of the Skies running around. So, I don't know. Maelstrom Pulse would be quite good. I guess the only downside is if a lot of people were on this list, you have the potential splashing back and killing your own stuff. Like, you wouldn't want to be hitting Sylvan Scavengings with that, but you also have other ways to take care of enchantments and artifacts with Heritage Reclamation. I'm not sure about the Singleton Requiting Hex. Like, it's. You don't have that many ways to interact with early game creatures, except maybe you're trying to go up to 4 with Bushwhack and then Requiting Hex. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe if you have the opportunity in the Discord, talk to MDog about their sideboard plans, but maybe they're seeing stuff I'm not seeing. The duresses are completely fine and probably quite important. But yeah, other than that, this list is very, very strong. I absolutely love it. Sylvan Scavenging is something that I want to be playing with more. Um, the greater than 3 archetype, although technically they don't call it with the smiley face version. I just modified that myself. But yeah, this is the black green version as is. Went 2-2. If I check out the challenge bracket, I haven't seen what MDog has gone currently, but they were 1-2, and I imagine if they're playing this list, they're probably going to go 2-2. So we have about the same record this week. But yeah, other than that, this list is fantastic. Love what it's got going on. Probably just the sideboard that needs some tweaking. And then maybe, possibly, finding a room for another Secundi for the control matchups, but having come into play tapped lands certainly sucks. So aside from that, that is the postmortem. All right, and then from last week's video, I received 2 comments of "this looks cool" and "this looks dope." So that was relation to my black-green rock list. If these are humans, in fact, interacting with the video, thank you very much for complimenting the deck. If you're clankers, you know what to do. Keep clanking it up, I suppose. Other than that, thank you guys very much for watching this week, and I will catch you in the next one. Cheers. Take care, everyone.